All right, hello wine drinking people. Time for more of what I've had to drink yesterday and our vintage Rhone tasting here. The subject of this, what I drank yesterday, a lot of great wines. It seems like we did a study here in Syrah the last month or so. We had some incredible tastings, a couple of once-in-a-lifetimes, like this one here, where, hey, we just had the wine, or good friend Bob just had the wine. We figured we should help him drink his 10,000 bottles of wine that he's got in his home. So that is what this tasting was all about. And some great older vintages. The 89 flight we had, just stunning, still very young. The 86 Guigal drinking at their peak, absolutely stunning. We started out with a little wine. We always give you a little extra here. The Francois Villard Saint Joseph Blanc, which was not on the list here. This is 100% Marsanne, and this wine, it's lovely minerally note to it, kind of flint and white peach and apricot fruit, some orange blossom floral notes, just a touch of honey here. A lovely viscous wine on the palate, texture of whole milk, tongue-tingly minerality, and some nice acidity here with that orange zest note to the finish. An excellent example of a white Saint Joseph, something you don't see very often, and a great value here. Francois Villard's wine's just incredibly popular, his tasting. Even his little Merlot for $15. That's right, he makes a Merlot from the Northern Rhone. Really odd, but delicious. All right, our Chapoutier, our first wine at the seeded part of the tasting, the Blanc de Lorie, which, you know, these wines can be a little bit funky at first, and, you know, the color is even dark. It looks oxidized. This is 100% Marsanne, and could be at a little funky stage in its point in its life right now because it needed some time to open up, but, you know, after a couple hours, even the next morning, still seemed a little bit oxidative on the nose. Some quince and orange marmalade and honey also on the nose there, and opening up nicely on the second day. The fruit on the palate, definitely there. A light metallic note to the finish here, along with that orange zest and honey. Nice acidity. Even better on the second day. If you're going to drink this wine, put it in the decanter for 2 to 3 hours at least, or put it in your cellar for another 5-7 years. I don't know, but didn't seem like the 99 near perfect Northern Rhone white as advertised by Mr. Robert Parker. All right, the 1995 Guigal Chateau d'Ampuis. This wine was kind of a little out of place because, well, we only had 195, and then we went into a flight of 89s, and we did a Coronas and a couple of Hermitages next. So maybe we should have put this right in front of the other Cote Roties, or behind them from Guigal. Anyways, it kind of got lost in the shuffle. No votes for first place here, but 7 exceptional terroirs going to this wine. It's 93% Syrah, 7% Viognier, so a blend of several different, all the different areas, I guess, that Chateau owns, or Guigal, rather, owns in the Northern Rhone, and still very youthful on the nose. This wine had a lovely currant and plum fruit, some roasted game, and fine earth and herbs and brown spice. Nice complexity here. Very fresh wine on the tongue here. Lots of that red and blackberry fruit. And a good bit of tannins here. Still a bit of dryness at the end. Plenty of fruit to match. This wine needs another decade in your cellar. I don't know. Excellent juice, though. Just didn't show up to the rest of the bunch. As the Coronas from Noel Verset was the lightest of all the wines, but this wine got the most votes for first place. It was the winner tonight. For me, you know, it was a very beautiful wine. Had this lovely exotic nose, dried flowers, perfume, lavender, violets. The fruit's still very here, some light smoky and crushed rock-like notes. The minerality here really showing nicely. Very smooth and silky on the tongue. Definitely the one drinking at its peak tonight, but really not going anywhere to me at its peak. Drink this wine up now if you have it. The most distinct wine on the table with that unique perfumed lavender-like floral aroma there. Excellent juice, and, well, not available for sale, so it doesn't matter what it costs. If you could go out and find this wine, I hear it sells for upwards of $1,000 a bottle. $800 to $1,000 a bottle. Hoo-ah. Not worth that, but very good. Anyways, the Chave Hermitage La Chapelle 89 was the wine of the night for me. This wine, wow, what an incredible color this wine still had. What a beautiful sweet fruit on the nose. A blockbuster, an intense nose of cassis, plum, and cherry fruit, sweet tobacco, mocha, roasted game. Really lovely complexity and still very fresh here. On the palate, a lot of sweet fruit, silky velvety texture, a ton of spice and earth, and still some tannins here on the finish, and a wonderful firm hand of acidity. This wine could go another 20 years. Most excellent juice. For my money, the best wine on the table. Still probably not worth what it costs. It's probably $600-800 a bottle. I didn't look that one up. The Chave Hermitage, hoo-ah. This one's still a blockbuster. This wine's got a lot of time to go in the bottle. Bouquet of crushed graphite, dried floral notes, a solid core of plum and cassis fruit, very complex array of aromas, and even better on the second day. This wine very tightly wound on the palate. Still a lot of tannins present here, layers of spice and earth and smoked meats. A really big but still balanced wine. This wine had plenty of fruit, those tannins just hanging on all the way to the end, and patience is a virtue, it seems, with Chave. The same experience we had with the 88 a few weeks before. All right, most excellent juice, though. The 1986 Lalas. We started out with a La Moline, and this is the oldest vineyard bottling of all three. It was made for the first time in 1966, and this is a vineyard that's in the shape of a Roman amphitheater, and really lovely bouquet here. It's got 89% Syrah and 11% Viognier. Nice amount of fresh earth on the nose, hints of roasted game, fine herb, and a light smoky character to all these Lala wines. They spent 42 months in oak, so a lot of oak in this wine, but starting to mellow out now. On the second day, you really didn't notice it nearly as much. Still quite large on the palate. This wine's got a lot of nice dark berry and plum fruit. That smoky, meaty notes showing on the finish, smooth and velvety, and some tannins here at the end still. This wine very well built, the La Moline. Next up, the Landonne, which I don't think the La Moline got any votes for first place. The Landonne got a couple of votes, and 2 votes for first place, putting it in 4th place overall for the evening. The 78 vintage was the first vintage Guigal made Landonne, and this wine's comes from a very rich limestone and clay soil, iron oxide. It's the only one of the 3 Lalas that's 100% Syrah, so there's no Viognier in this wine, so you don't get that floral character, or not as much. You still get it from Syrah, but not as much as the wines with Viognier co-fermented in there. And the nose still has some nice fruit, some meaty, smoky nuances, and fine herbs. On the tongue, this wine's a little lighter and elegant, and really pretty floral notes here. Smooth, silky texture. Some tannins at the end here, but really drinking nicely. Excellent little bottle of wine, and the Le Turc was the winner here. You know, this wine really stood out on the nose from the moment we opened it up here, and it was bottled for the first time as a single vineyard in 1985, and 93% Syrah, 7% Viognier. This wine got like 5 votes for first place, 3 votes for second place, and putting it, I'm sorry, it was in second place with our group. 3 votes for first, 5 votes for second. But a lot of votes. A lot of people like this wine, let me tell you. It was definitely the favorite of the Lalas, and several people's favorite of the night. Really unique smoky character, again, to this wine. Tobacco, bacon-like notes really coming out in this one. Red plum and cherry fruit, light but still present. Really smooth and elegant wine on the tongue. It's velvet-like tannins, and lovely freshness in this wine. It seemed to have more nuance to it, and a longer finish. That lovely smoky bacony note coming in there. Most excellent juice. And that's what we had to drink at our super Northern Rhone tasting. I'm your host, Andrew Lampasoni, signing off for the Wine Watch, saying remember, always drink the good stuff first.